Did it look like I was frozen? Did that look like I was glitched? Let's try it again. Ready? Maybe people will not watch because they'll think, oh my God, this guy's screen is frozen. That's kind of funny to do, right? Maybe I should just do that. Oh, I can't move my eyes. That's funny. That crack me up. Well, welcome. We're definitely live now. I spent the whole minute pretending to be frozen. I should just do like, I'm glitching. Get you me. Oh, yeah. Ari. Oh, ah. Banditos, what's good, homie? What's up? What's up? What's cracking? Sorry for everybody who's had to endure me pretending to be glitching. Well, what's good? We're going to talk about something delicioso. Ariana Grande. And that's not the delicioso part. Because she's kind of repugnant, to be honest. And I know she's an amazing talent. I don't know, Bandito, you're about my age, homie. So I don't know if you're aware of the talents. Sorry, of Ariana, but Ariana, I never paid attention to any of her music, and then I seen her on like one of the Jimmy late night shows, and I went, oh wow, she's really got like Mariah Carey talent. Like she is up there as a unicorn for voice vocals, for voice vibrations. Personality wise, repugnant. Definitely has the I'm infatuated with the fact people are infatuated with me vibes. That's what Ariana be giving off. I wouldn't be surprised if people said she was a mean girl, if she was nasty to people, if she, did not enjoy the company of others at her calabar. Um, and I don't know if you've typed Ariana Grande into Google, hopefully for not malicious reasons. We're getting to it, Bandito. What did she do? Well, uh, she went on Pod Crushed, episode 72. Everybody's got a podcast, which I'm thankful. I love that everybody has a podcast. I've never heard of Pod Crushed. It's here on YouTube. And maybe I'll just play because I could do it because I'm at my domicile. Maybe I'll just play this for you. And forgive me. Listen, this is not ideal. Again, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I go live every weekday. And I say hit that notification bell because Jen, what is up? You don't like her voice? Well, that's weird because her voice is like just, perfect tone, perfect pitch, pitch perfect, great movie. Um but I just think that's the one thing, like, whether or not you like her as a person, I don't. Never met her, but just seems, a bit much. I think her voice is one of those things everybody could, I guess, you know what, to each their own. I get it, Jen. I get it. I just think she's absolutely talented, like, very, very talented. I see why she is where she is. Don't understand the Pete Davidson whole thing, but I get it. Uh, so again, subscribe, notification bell, click that little thing that looks like this. Who knows what it is? Is that a thumb? Or is it a fish with a cut off head? Is that a decapitated fish? I don't know. Nobody knows. YouTube isn't clear on these things. Nasally. Oh, now, Jen, you're making me. Oh, now I'm going to have to listen to her again. Because once you said that, that might have ruined it for me. That might have totally. You might have made me not like her voice. Because if I listen and she's nasally, then gosh darn it, I can't do it. And we know Mariah Carey ain't nasally. Mariah Carey just, voice of an angel. Proof there is angels. Um, so I don't want to do this. That's why I say you have to subscribe and hit the little decapitated fish head. Hit that thing because once we make it to what I looked it up. Philly DeFranco has 6.92 million subscribers. We're on Philly DeFranco's heels, okay? And I've been talking about Philly DeFranco. He does news commentary like I do. Um, he's kind of like the teen bop version, like kids sing newsmentary, if you ask me. So like if you like the kids sing version of your news on YouTube, go ahead. Go subscribe to Philly DeFranco. That's fine. If you're into kids bop, now that's what I call kids hits, whatever it's called, you're a Philly DeFranco fan. If you want the raw, unfiltered, we're gonna talk some shit and call Ariana Grande's personality repugnant. You're in the right place. And listen, we don't need to agree. You saw me and Jen F, which I know she's subscribed and hit the notification bell because she's always up in the chat. And she is like my respect my authority. Please Google that for me. My AI, my super intelligence. Can't even call her artificial because it's not. She's like my superhuman intelligence. She's my SHI. If, if we can find a superhuman intelligence technician, Jen is my shit. I just made that up, and you can tell that entertained me. So Jen is my shit. That stands for superhuman intelligence technician. Philly DeFranco doesn't do this. So if you're not subscribed, what is wrong with you? Plus, I go live 5 days a week. He records his 4 days a week. But I was looking into more of Philly DeFranco because, if you want to get to almost 7 million subscribers, you got to bite a little bit of his style, which I can't because he very much is like if the kids decided the news, it's just boring, fast forwarded, sped up. I mean, but he does some things well. He targeted teens. He said, "This is how we're going to make teens listen to the news," and he's doing it. I don't know. So I watched some of his stuff, and then I tried going back. This is the fascinating thing. We'll get to Ariana in a second. And this is also you subscribe as well, because we're at 1333 subscribers, and we are on the heels. We are nipping at Philly DeFranco's heels of 7 million subscribers. We're about to get there. Of course, yeah, Bandito. He has a huge team behind him. The funniest thing was I was trying to scroll back to see his like original videos. I didn't know he first went by SEX Phil, which was like supposed to be said as Sexy Phil, which I thought was hilarious. Just hilarious. That's so funny that was his original YouTube name. And he deleted all those. But even if you scroll back like a year, I think as far back as you can go is 4.5 to 5 years of Philly DeFranco videos. And he's noticeably, like, you can tell when people get to a certain wealth because all of a sudden they become like cancer skinny, because this dude doesn't even look like himself anymore now. He's so thin, you almost wonder, like, does he have YouTube parents that have kept him locked in a room and aren't feeding him? Like, should we do a welfare check? Like, is Philly DeFranco okay? Is that YouTube mom that just went to prison for mistreating her kids, is like that his mom too? Like, do we need to call somebody? Because this dude is so unreasonably skinny, and just like a year ago, he had some, whatever I got, some chub, some life in them cheeks, and he don't anymore. But yeah, he's got a huge team that like writes everything. He probably just sits in front of a camera and reads a teleprompter. In fact, that's one of my biggest pet peeves with YouTubers. If you watch their eyes when they're reading scripts, like Tucker Carlson, he's always looking right here, and you see people. Now that I mentioned it, just keep an eye out for it. It bugs the shit out of me. But people are like, so, and then in the news, Ariana Grande went on Podcrushed, and she said that she would like to have Jeffrey Dahmer as a dinner guest to little kids. Stress and Ozempic. That's probably Philly D. Guys, when I'm a millionaire and I have 7 million subscribers, Bandito and Jen, you guys will probably be on the payroll at that point. You guys will be my team. But make sure, can we make a note that we do fake commercials for stress and Ozempic? Bandito, I'm gonna need you to archive that. So in, however long it takes us to crack 7 million, Philly D did a commercial for the video I just watched on matcha tea. He did, oh, thank God I can get some clean caffeine in me. That's what I've been looking for. Da-da-da-da-da-da. What do you know? Matcha tea's the ad. He did one of those. We're gonna do segues into stress, where I'll just be pulling my hair out, just be going, oh, I just couldn't get stressed enough. I just can't. I'm just gonna lose it. And then we'll do an ad for stress, which will segue into a fake ad for Ozempic. Unless we can get somebody to sponsor us. Can we look into that, Jen? Is there a stress company that will look into Ozempic? Be like, man, have people been asking you if you got cancer lately? Are they saying they're worried you're so thin that you might be doing chemo treatments? Well, guess what? It's Ozempic. Ozempic and stress. What do you know? The weight loss combo that will make you looking unhealthily skinny. So, guys, we got to, you guys are already my team. We got to archive that. And no offense to anybody who's gone through cancer stuff. I know that's very serious. We're dogging on Philly. Philly D. Sexy Phil, as he used to go by. But you know what? What I was trying to say, and we're going to get to Ariana Grande, is Philly deleted his entire catalog. Like, he deleted everything. Everything. I wanted to scroll back because for me it's fascinating to see the YouTubers climb up the ranks, and obviously when they get big enough, when they hit the jackpot, when they got a lot of money, as soon as they look, like cancer thin. And again, I hate that I keep saying that. I'm joking, everybody. I know it's horrible. Listen, my dad took his own life. I know all the stresses of life, but we got to be able to make jokes. So it's a safe place here. I mean, no offense. Um, but really, Philly DeFranco deleted like years off his YouTube channel. You can only go back. Most of his videos, I think there was one video 5 years old, which is suspect, right? That's like wicked suspect. And I think it's because I don't know why. If anybody knows, if anyone's been a Philly DeFranco fan for a long time, but I got to study this motherfucker because he's leading in our genre, Bandito and Jen. This is my team right here. Riley Shreve. What is up, Riley? I hope you are a new subscriber. Please. I can pretend I glitched to get. I was doing that in the beginning of the video. Bandito, what is that? Is that a loading thing? Or is that like a computer's butthole? I can't tell what that is in the chat, Bandito. All right, I promise we'll talk about the repugnance of Ariana Grande. And the whole reason I got into that is because once we crack 7 million subscribers, guys, guess what? Guess what? I won't have to play things on an iPad for you. Wait, that was a good glitch. Yes. Yes, Riley. That's my new thing. Riley, Jen, Bandito, you guys are here right now. So you're in on it. You guys will be in on the joke. But once we get like bigger, where there's, hundreds of thousands of people coming in live, you guys will know that. Yeah, I was glitching. I was glitching to begin the live stream. That means so many people are not going to watch it. And they're going to be like, is this shit broken? What's wrong with this dude? But Riley, Jen, and Bandito, when I start to glitch out, I'm going to work on it. I promise we'll get it good. That will be our little inside joke. And we'll have people in the chat going, hey, you're glitching, man. You're glitching, man. And then I'll just wink. That will be our thing. I'll be like, huh. Philly DeFranco doesn't do that. This is the weirdest live stream ever. I love you guys. Riley, do you like to fish? You know what? I don't really fish, but I love it. Is that weird? Is there something that you guys don't really do, but you just love it? And like, that's not a weird thing. I'm saying, like, if I got the opportunity to go fishing, I would. I love it. I've been fishing before. I love it. I don't catch them, or I don't eat fish, so everything we catch 100% release. Um, but I just don't do it. Is that weird? That, like, there's stuff I don't do that I just love, and I'm like, yeah, I've done that. I love it. Why don't you do it? Well, I don't know. But it's there, and I do love it. Um, Glitch acting is hard to master. At 100%, it. I think my new favorite thing is pretending to glitch. I think we're losing a ton of people too, but honestly, I don't care because fake glitching is fucking hilarious. Fake glitching is my new favorite thing. And Riley, Bandito, and Jen, you guys are in on it. So when we get to the point where there's hundreds of people being like, dude, you're glitching. Dude, you're frozen. You're frozen. I'll give you guys the wink, and then we'll all laugh. I did a lot of bass fishing, if that's your thing. You know what I do like? Bass fishing, the video game. That's a video game, right? I like that. They used to have it on the Wii. Wii. Okay. My boyfriend is looking at me funny. I'm like, what is she laughing at? Tell your boyfriend to subscribe. Get him in here. Get him in here. Um, I know. I get distracted with you guys in here because it's just kind of like us chatting instead of me trying to take Philly DeFranco's throne. Coming for you, Philly. So everybody subscribe and hit the notification bell because I go do live. I live do weekdays. You know what I mean. So I want to play this quick clip for you and see if you can spot the repugnance.
No, but my one thing aside is that years ago, before the Dahmer series, before it was, I was in a Q&A with fans, with young fans. It was young fans at the time. It was like, I think it was like in between, like me being Cat and pop stuff. So it was like a younger group. But it was with a parent. Someone said, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Who, Mom and Dad, is it okay if I give the real answer? And they were like, sure, I guess. What's the answer? And I was like, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's pretty fascinating. I think I would have loved to have met him. Wow. Like, you know, maybe with a third party or something else. But
She said maybe with a third party.
I have a lot to...
Hopefully you guys could hear that, right? I didn't turn it up too loud. I figured you guys could hear it. I didn't want it to blast. Is that very Inception-like? That on YouTube, I'm playing a YouTube podcast on a YouTube podcast? No, that's not very Inception. Like, YouTubers do it all the time. They just do it where they're like, let me bring it up on my computer. Oh, you're so fancy, Philly D. Get out of here. Your editor does that. So yeah, that's what she said. Could you spot, again, let's play the game. Could you spot the repugnance? It was her identifying that it was little kids. I think she's referencing like a Nickelodeon show. I think she was on a couple of Nickelodeon shows. And she's referencing that like these are little kids that clearly don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is. Clearly don't know about serial killers yet. And she's asking the parents if I can give a real answer. And then saying after she said Jeffrey Dahmer, like who would pick Jeffrey Dahmer? I get Americans have a weird obsession with serial killers. But like, someone asks you the question. Maybe I can ask you guys, Bandito, Riley, Jen, if you get that question, if you could have dinner with anybody, living or dead, who would it be? Is Jeffrey Dahmer crossing your mind? Like, truly, is he crossing your mind? Really, Bandito? Really? Like, out of every, I mean, I know we're talking about it, but if we weren't talking about it, would you have went there? Because I'm telling you, that could, like, he's not even on my radar at that point. Like, it's just such a weird thing. But then for her to acknowledge, like, she understands it's very little kids. She understands that, like, the parents might be shocked. She had to ask the parents for an okay to give a real answer. Like, she couldn't just fucking church it up, you know, and be like, you know who? Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers. Ever heard of Robert Ressler? Original FBI profile. Was he featured in the what's that Mindhunter? Was he one of the dudes featured like the based off of him? Because I feel like that name's familiar, but I'm gonna be honest, and I don't think I know that one. But that's a good one to look. Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah. So Mindhunter, great first season. By the way, weird enough. Look at what I'm wearing. I don't know if you guys know. Don't want dinner with a cannibal. Well, here's the thing, Jen. If you're gonna pick a cannibal for dinner, right? Because you're fascinated by that, why not pick the Uruguayan uh, plane crash victims? Do you guys remember that? There used to be a movie called Alive, a long time ago. I think like early '90s. Ethan Hawke's in it. I love Ethan Hawke. Um, and then they just remade the movie called The Snow Society about the Uruguayan plane crash that was carrying the rugby team, and they were stuck in the Andes for I forget how long. Yeah, classic movie, right? Right, Bandito. You get me. You get me. So those guys were cannibals. They were forced into it to survive. And some of those guys are living. You can look up their interviews on YouTube, and they have a insane story. And it's a story of hope, survival, XYZ, right? Just the polar opposite of Dahmer, what Dahmer was trying to do. Yeah, exactly. They were trying to survive. So, I mean, if you're going to go that route, like, oh, I'm fascinated by it, like, why not talk to somebody who, has a maybe more compelling story, or I don't know. But it's just so weird because, like, even though I make the joke Fred Rogers, well, first of all, how come you don't hear any people say like future, like could living or dead? So, well, technically, I guess they wouldn't be dead, but they're almost living. Like, could you say the president of America in 3004? For dinner? Could you say? I don't know. There's so many people. Like I always think John Brown, my cousin, guy who sparked the Civil War. Harriet Tubman, love to talk to her. Jim Henson, God, get to sit down and have dinner with Jim Henson. Uh, there's so many fascinating people, right? The guy who started saying "God bless you," and if he regrets it, like that trend that still hasn't kicked the dust. I hate saying "God bless you." John Brown is a good one. Jim Henson. Oh, I was joking about Fred Rogers, but seriously, sitting down with Mr. Rogers for dinner, amazing. Top of my list would be Kurt Cobain. I would absolutely, that would be a dream. Jesus, let's put it like this: anyone out of the Bible, Judas, that'd be a weird dinner, right? Like, how do you feel? Do you regret your actions? Was it worth the 30 pieces? Um, Seriously, anyone out of the Bible, that's a fascinating thing. What about and again, it's living or dead. I feel like picking anyone living is so boring. A Bob Ross, and could it be like a one of those painting dinners where you're like eating, where you're having charcuterie and doing some painting or whatever the hipsters do on their speed dating? Neville Goddard, right? There's so many fascinating people to pick, and you would think, I don't know. This question I think reflects more on a person's uh, personality than anything else. So that question, when she answered it like that, and I don't think she was doing a put on for the podcast or whatever. I think that was a real story that really happened to her. And she asked parents if she could tell little Nickelodeon viewers that her dream dinner would be with Jeffrey Dahmer, which, by the way, he would love to have her as a guest. He would love to have her for dinner, if you know what I mean. And by the way, if you don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer was, I believe he killed and ate 17 people. I believe it was was it all men though? I believe it was all men. I believe it went to like gay nightclubs and basically hunted dudes. Totally not enough meat. 100%. You know what level of wealth she's at, right? She's at that skinny. Are you getting chemo or is that just Ozempic and stress? That's some. That's him, right? I always get with Dahmer and Bundy. I always get them confused. Um, but he did. I don't know that story, Jen. Jen, I need you. You my shit. You my superhuman intelligence technician. Jen, can you double check if he fed if he fed humans to his neighbor? Holy shnikes. Jen, I actually have a computer or an iPad right now. My Sky New Zealand, what is up? Salute to you. Good to see you, man. Seeing your comments. Appreciate you stopping by the chat. What's up, New Zealand? By the way, I love your channel. It's out there, but I've been meaning to. I think I wrote it in the comments, my Sky. Um, Kermit the Frog, beloved by me, he was beloved by my mother. So to see the first video I watched you was the Kermit the Frog rainbow song. Why are there many songs about rainbows? So respect for that. He offered it to his neighbor. Look at that. Jen's my shit. If you guys don't know, we're a big family here. I seen your channel, My Sky. I seen it, and I watch your videos, and I see your community posts, which is cool, man. You take some cool pictures of the sky. Um, I respect your YouTube game because it's unique. I love that stuff. That's why I wish YouTube offered a filter for you to check smaller channels because I think some of these big channels just kind of regurgitate what each other are doing. That's why every week Mr. Beast is releasing I survived in the woods, someone survived in a box, I was buried and survived, I survived on an island. They're all regurgitating the same thing, you know. I stayed at the worst motel, I stayed at the best motel. $1 million car versus $1 car. It's all boring. The small YouTubers are where the creativity lies. And I think unfortunately, a lot of big YouTubers are probably stealing small YouTubers' ideas. So she turned it down. Oh, and it was a woman. Another article says he made neighbors sandwiches. Ooh. So listen, it's kind of up in folklore now, whether or not Jeffrey Dahmer fed his neighbors, his victims. But think about what we're talking about, right? And in fact, the article, oh, by the way, once you subscribe and hit the notification bell and that little decapitated fish, if that's what it is, a flat-headed decapitated fish. I put the articles down in the description, and in it, the whole reason this is brought up, because I guess one of the victims, who was, I think, 31 at the time and deaf, I forget his name, but his family, who is still around, is calling Ariana Grande sick. They're saying, like, she's sick. And it is kind of a sickness. You know how America and Netflix and we've made it like this glamorized thing. I get it. There's like a whole podcast genre about crime and like demented crime. You know, like the sicker, the better for enjoyment of people, which is a weird thing. I don't even think that's a budget green screen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that might be a sheet. Thank you, though. Thank you. The thumbs up looks more like a fishtail. Does it? We got to figure out what that is because I'm convinced it's not a thumbs up. But just so everybody's aware, because I want to explain why I'm calling Jen's my shit. Because that actually stands for something. It's not a curse word. So YouTube, don't do anything. Please don't do anything. Shit stands for Superhuman Intelligence Technician. That's a real thing. That's she's part of my team. And if you're aware, if you know you're watching this, you go, that guy cusses a lot. That guy says swears all the time. No, I don't. Jen is my shit, and she is my superhuman intelligence technician, which means she double checks everything for us. Part of the team here. We made that up tonight. Fucking salute to you guys. I gotta come up with what fuck stands for. Futuristic, utopian, convoluted, something. We'll figure it out. Gen Z. Who's Gen Z? Oh, Jen should change her last name to Z. She could be Jen. That would be good. That would be good. All right. So, anyways, Ariana Grande, pick that. My Sky New Zealand. If you could have dinner with anyone alive or dead, who would it be? I would like to know. And Bandito, and Jen, I don't think you guys answered. But if you have an answer, if somebody comes off with the cool answer, I'm just fascinated to know because obviously Ariana would like to have dinner with Jeffrey Dahmer, which is out of everybody, like everybody. Okay. Um, the other thing that I had linked below. Oh yeah, hold on, hold on. I forgot I can look at my iPad. Hunter S. Thompson. That is a great one. My ex, Mrs. She's Gone. For real. Oh man, that kind of made me sad. I hope you get that dinner though soon. Hunter Thompson would be amazing. Didn't even consider that. See what I mean? There's so many amazing answers. So man, Hunter Thompson, have a dinner with him would just be so fascinating. Whitey Bulger. I mean, I know he was a rat and murdered, but in prison. But another like there are people with some stories. Oh, maybe Whitey Bulger would be a bad choice. Hunter Thompson, I think that's a great one. Oh, and that reminded me. Did you see my shirt? Weird that we're talking about Mind Hunter and all the police and serial killer stuff. This is a shirt that the state police here in Massachusetts actually sell. It's their merch. Queen Elizabeth I. Ooh, uh, Boudica. Is that her name? Boudica? There's a Celtic warrior princess or Celtic tribal warrior girl that my daughter was reading a book about, and I thought she'd be fascinating. Joan of Arc, Cleopatra, um, Mary Magdalene. Oh, so yeah, did you see that? So this you see it says state police. That's the Massachusetts state flag emblem. State police of Massachusetts right there. And do you see what it says? Deny everything. Nefertiti, that's a good one. Oh my God. Zeus. um Funny, I didn't even realize I was wearing this shirt. We were talking about this. But and isn't that weird that the Mass State Police merch says deny everything, which is honestly good advice. You're gonna get that same advice from a lawyer, like don't say, say nothing, plead the fifth, get quiet. It's just weird. And I did. I got this from the state police when I was on the radio. They came in because the host of my show donated to them every chance he could so he could be, in favor with them. Um, It needs, I'm high under it. It should say that on the back. Leave me alone, I'm high. Okay, so what? Oh, I wanted to find the family. I wanted to just make note of the family that said they were calling her sick. Oh, why is it not? It might not be on this article. My apologies. My apologies. Hold on, where is it? Family of, here we go, here's the article. The mother and sister of one of Dahmer's victims, Tony Hughes, condemned the problem singer, comments, for glamorizing the serial killer. Tony Hughes spoke with TMZ. Oh, no. Anthony Tony Hughes' mother, Shirley Hughes, called the actress and singer's comments sick. She says, to me, it seems like she's sick in her mind. It's not fancy or funny to say you would want to have dinner with him. It's also not something you should say to young people, which she says she did. And she did. And I agree with Shirley Hughes. I mean, not TLZ, TMZ is always just looking, for some clickbaity article. So they probably were seeking that response. But, at the same time, I think this speaks volumes within itself that Ariana Grande brought that up, brings to light kind of the character she has with saying this stuff to little kids. And you got to remember, that's the context. Like, she was well aware that she was dealing with young children, and she asked the parents if it was okay if she gave a real answer, and then told them Jeffrey Dahmer, which, of course, the whole ride home, these kids are going to be like, who's Jeffrey Dahmer, and why does our favorite singer love him so much? It's just weird. Nice chat, bro. I'm up for tea with mom. For real, it's her birthday. Oh, salute. Tell the mom I said happy birthday, please. And what kind of tea are you going to have? I love tea. It's the only reason I ask. Um, Republic of Tea, I don't know if there's still a brand. They used to be a long time ago, has an amazing peach ginger. So if you ever see Republic of Tea peach ginger, definitely get it. If not, a nice English breakfast, black one with a little bit of soy milk, always does the trick. Barbecue. Well, g'day. Put another shrimp on. Oh, sorry, that's Australia. You know I love New Zealand. I'm just messing with you. I've told you guys, New Zealand, #1 comedy accent. There is no accent that can do comedy better than New Zealand. Absolutely good to see you, my guy. Have a good one. Salute. Oh my God, I didn't even realize what time it was. See, this is because Jen and Bandito and Riley had me sidetracked for like the first 20 minutes, all joking, coming up with Jen being the shit, the superhuman intelligence technician. I kind of love that, Jen. I hope you like that and appreciate and respect the position as much as I do, because it's kind of fucking brilliant. And Bandito always coming. Okay, I'm glad you love it, Jen. As long as you love it, I'm cool. If you were like, yo, please don't call me that, then I would respect the game. But I just think that's hilarious. Bandito, we gotta come up with one for you. Because this is the crew right here. Um okay, so that's the Ariana stuff, right? I had to talk about that because it's just says so much, doesn't it? It really does. It really does. Um, But there's this other story that I linked down below. Very sad story. It says 8-year-old girl dies after mom allegedly left her in car during high heat to go to work. This is horrific. Uh, Not just because it's an 8-year-old, it was right around my kid's age, but also because now the mom has to endure involuntary manslaughter charges after dealing with this trauma. And I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of people saying, like, oh, why is the mom locking a kid in a car? Well, I get it, especially when it's hot out. Bad decision, right? I'm guessing the mom thought, like, she's 8. And in this article, you can read it for yourself. She said she left her in the car, I think, with the keys and the air conditioner on, and she went to work. Doesn't detail what she was doing for work. No, it doesn't. Yeah, because I've read this a few times, and it just talks about her stopping. The daughter and her were texting, and about an hour and a half after her last text from the girl, she went out to the car. Um, I don't. So Jen, these are all the questions that I was wondering. Like, how long was she working? Obviously, it was longer than an hour and a half because that's how long she hadn't heard from her daughter when she went, I'm going to go check on her. But I really think that this story is a supreme indictment on the system we have. I know that's not a popular take. Everybody wants personal responsibility and it's the mother's fault and this and that, but I actually have compassion for the mother. I couldn't imagine losing a child. I'm not saying she made good choices. Again, I understand this is not a popular opinion. Hit subscribe. We're here for discussion, not to always agree, even though, sometimes we do. Um, Even though sometimes we do. It's mostly on comedy stuff, but it's so horrific to think that a mom was left with, and I don't know. Again, this is my hypothetical, but to think my son wants a wrestling match right now, gotta go. Oh, well, then you gotta do that. Bandito, good to see you, dude. Thanks for stopping by, man. But this mom, well, and after this, I'm wrapping it up. I'm gonna try to stream this weekend. I'm going to try to. Just we're in the midst of like moving. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I've given you my word, 5 days a week, every weekday, and I'm sticking to it. Even though we almost cracked midnight tonight. Um, so, anyways, this mom in what was it? Did I say North Carolina? In North Carolina has been charged with involuntary manslaughter after she allegedly left her 8-year-old daughter in a hot car while at work, and the girl died. Horrific. I could not imagine going through this. But the fact that the mother thought the only option was bringing her daughter and leaving her in the car. I don't know if she had asked her work. I don't know if her work said you can't bring your daughter in. I can imagine there's a lot of places that are like, this isn't bring your daughter to work day. Don't bring your kids in here, which is sad, but obviously, understandable depending on what you're doing. But really, this shows an indictment on the system that healthcare is or childcare is unaffordable. A single mom obviously has to work so they can afford to live, which is a stupid saying in the wealthiest country in the world. Um, and here is some of the fallout from it. Now, yes, I get that there are a lot of bad decisions being made. If it's 90 degrees, well, I mean, what do you do? Does she leave the kid at home? You can't leave an 8-year-old at home. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this was a trapped situation. If you have no one, if you don't have family, which I can relate to, you don't have family that can come and help you watch your kids. If you don't have money to afford the childcare, what do you do in this situation? Um, Gen F. I don't leave my kids alone in the car when I go to CVS. Someone tried to steal me as a kid when my mom was in Walgreens. Got to be good. Yeah. Well, listen, my daughter's now at the age where she's asking, hey, can I stay in the car? And it really, really, really depends. Um, we just had a scenario where my son, like both my kids are around the same age. They're a little bit older than the child in this, but we rolled down all the windows. We were inside for, maybe a minute or two. But Jen, you're right. Like, it takes a split second for something tragic to happen. So you always have to be highly aware, but it's a tough spot also because, kids are always wanting that independence and freedom. But I would, I just wouldn't I would I would never have them sit in the car. My kids wouldn't even sit in the car if I had to go to work. If I was like sit in the car, they'd be like, "What are you crazy? I'm not sitting in there. Do I have an iPad and internet?" And be like, "No, we don't have the iPad with the GPS or the Wi-Fi or the cell service." Um, but a friend got a gun pulled on her in the Costco parking lot recently. Yeah, it's hectic out there, man. And that's the sad thing, when society's starting to come unhinged because everything's unaffordable, you find people in much more dire circumstances, which create worse positions for everybody else who has to live in the communities with them. And that's why I say this story, if you see it on the news, don't. That's why I do this. Because I don't want people to just fall into the traditional trap of the mainstream media saying, oh, bad mom, don't leave kid in car, and not think further into it. It's just not always that black and white. Maybe this one was. Maybe this story was just that black and white. But like Jen, immediately, Jen, your first question was how long did she have to work? Was she running back into work? Was it like an hour? Because that's, maybe understandable. But there are more questions. What was she doing for work? Did her work not allow kids? Could she not afford childcare? Because obviously childcare is so expensive. Was she working to be able to afford childcare? There's a paradox. There's a conundrum here. There are questions to be asked, and I feel like even CBS News didn't even and remember, I'm a YouTuber. I did work in radio for a long time, but I did comedy. It wasn't strictly journalism. I wasn't on NPR. I'm a YouTuber doing newsmentary. And Philly DeFranco, we're nipping at your heels. We're coming for you, buddy. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. So I'm a YouTuber, and I'm asking more questions than that ABC, CBS, whatever the lamestream media article asked. They didn't even answer half the questions, and Jen was asking questions too. Asking questions that I hadn't even thought of. I was like, well, what does she do for work? Was she able to afford? Were there other options? Did she have no options? Do these people not care to, find out? Maybe they couldn't. Maybe I don't know. But that article should have been detailing like, what are the situations here? Is she a single mother? There's just so many things outside of it being that black and white. Like, this is a mom, remember, unless she's some stone cold Jeffrey Dahmer fan. Um, this has got to be absolutely devastating for her. Now, again, I don't know how this situation is going to roll out. Maybe it rolls out totally different and this woman is a monster. But we need to ask the questions to figure out if that's the case. Because I know all too many people that can't afford childcare, that have to work alternating hours, or I just got a lot of people close to me that are in very similar circumstances where they have to work, but they can't spend the money. They don't have the money to have someone watch their kids. They don't have immediate family around them. They don't have friends that they can just dump kids off at. A lot of things are taken for granted in this society, and I'm just saying that because I lost both my parents at a young age. I do not have family near me. I do not have family that can help out. My kids have never had a babysitter. We've always had to manage some way to always, be around them. MF, you need to make it so I can give you money. dKornt. Um, I would appreciate that. Uh, that's a good question. I do have a GoFundMe right now. I can post that because we are in a circumstance. Um, but that would be amazing. We could always use some help. I should start. I think I have like a Cash App. I'll post that in the description because I'm not against that. Right now, I'll be very honest. My family needs some help. Um, like I said, we're going through all these different things right now, but that's why really I like tackling some of these more serious topics, like that mom in North Carolina that remember, her daughter died in that hot car. You don't think she's going to carry that guilt? I mean, she really had to be some kind of monster to not. But that is just not as black and white as that CBS or ABC, NBC, whatever that article was. I don't even care because they get no respect from me on the way they presented that story. Just as so matter of fact, like, oh, mom's charged with involuntary manslaughter. It's much deeper than that. It truly is. This is a society that, wants to claim personal responsibility, but then at the same time pretend like we're all a community and all this. If we're really a community, we need to be looking out for each other. More importantly, setting up a community, a society where people don't have to bring their kids to sit in a car while they work so they can afford food and rent and all that. Like and sub so I can get monetized. Thank you, Jen. Jen, that's why you're my shit. Superhuman intelligence technician. Because if you like and subscribe, we are so close to surpassing Philly DeFranco. Yes, you might go, isn't that the huge YouTuber with 7 million subs? And I say, yes. And we're at 1,333. If you don't think we're nipping at his heels and he can feel it, he's got his little spider sense tingling. He's going, oh, what was that? I said, that's us coming for you because we're getting new subscribers every day. And I thank you so much. We're going to crack 1,340. I just feel it. And dKornt, what I'll do is put my Cash App. I think I got a Cash App. What the fuck? I know I got a PayPal. I'll figure it out and I'll put something in the description because, if you guys want to support the channel, it would mean the world to me. Again, if you are new, if you're watching this later, I go live every weekday. I bring you newsmentary. It's the thing Philly DeFranco does, except this isn't targeted at teens. This isn't your teen bop version. This isn't, kids sing, whatever it is, kids sing Ariana Grande songs. No, we're going to have a real discussion. And some of the stuff I say is not going to be popular. But whether or not we agree, I think it needs to be discussed. And I'm very open to being wrong. Go look at my comment section. Somebody just yelled at me in the comment section, the video I made about Bill Burr and Bill Maher. Said, you dummy. Pugilistic means whatever they said. And I said, my apology. I am sorry. I did not know. I should have had a dictionary. You're right. So I'm okay with being wrong. I'm not here to tell you like, I'm on YouTube, I know everything. In fact, I'm here to learn, and that's why I love having new subscribers. I got people all over America, Pacific Northwest, down in Florida, California, in the New England region. I know in the Midwest, we got people in Egypt, Alaska, South America, Brazil, New Zealand. New Zealand was just in the house. So I like people being up in the chat. I like having subscribers from everywhere because everybody's got a different perspective. Everybody has some different information on the way they experience life that can always be added, helpful, and insightful to coming to a different conclusion, a new conclusion, or maybe realizing that, we were totally wrong, which I'm okay with. So those were the two stories. By the way, when you do hit subscribe, please hit the notification bell. So when I do go live, like Jen, like My Sky New Zealand, I'm not sure if dKornt, you've hit the notification bell, but if you do that, you will get notified when I go live. You can jump up in the chat. Those are the two stories I wanted to talk about today. I'm really going to try to go live again this weekend. I can't give you my word, but I really want to because I've compiled all these news stories from the week, and then I get sidetracked with the live chat. Which, let's be honest, it's so much more fun. When we were talking, Jen, what'd you say yesterday? 80s drugs? Shit. What did you say the other day, Jen? I know it's in our chat. I gotta write it down. I can't believe I forgot it. Gotta love the 80s drug. Something 80s drugs and mild. Oh, I didn't write it down. I'm gonna go get it in the chat because I'm gonna have to put it into the description. I almost made it the title of the video. I'm surprised I didn't. Anyways, so sometimes I get sidetracked with the live chat, and I always invite everybody who is watching to get up in the live chat, especially if you do YouTube. Like My Sky New Zealand, who was in here earlier, had to go. His mom's birthday. Go have some tea with her. He does fascinating stuff. I love seeing all new YouTubers. I love finding other YouTubers. So please, if you watch this, give a shout out, leave a comment. I'll go check out your channel, subscribe to you, and to everybody else, Jen, you the shit, superhuman intelligence technician, and dKornt. I'm gonna do a little digging and then check this video within the next hour, and I'll put my Cash App or no. I'm gonna put my PayPal because I know I got a PayPal. So that way, if you guys do want to donate to the channel, which would be huge, and I thank you so much. Thank you guys. Please hit the like or the decapitated fish, the fish fin, whatever it is. We're gonna figure that out. Leave it in the comments what you think that little thing looks like. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I thank you guys so much for joining me. Peace. Have a good one, Jen.